Hello, this is the sixth video in the CartRack YAR series of how to use CartRack and some of the little things that are tucked away. Actually, a lot of the things will go backwards to previous versions, but as of October 2018, we're on the version CartRack YAR. The previous version was version 8. This is should be quite brief actually. This is using Navigator, so this is in editing and creating sessions, and it's about the pages, some of the extra things you can do with the pages. So let's see, what have we got going on here? We don't need that. Here we are, we've got a session opening driver, and we want to do some work on a session. Let's open this one. I seem to like this one, archive_01. These are the page buttons over here. We've already seen how to label them. Now that has changed. Prior to this version, there was a label underneath each one, and you typed in each one, and that would label the button. But I wanted to make this view, this field of buttons, identical to those in driver, and they are now, so that it's much easier to edit your sessions and know that it's going to look the same in driver. So I had to do a thing, and that was I added to the manage pages pane, and you can see here, and I've already shown this, that you can just tab between these fields, which are very slow because of the recording software, and you just type, and you can see on the right hand side that the buttons are updating as I go. So that's how to name the buttons. That's quite straightforward. But what else can you do with buttons? Page buttons. Let's have a look. There's another tab. Oh gosh, this is terrible. CartRack is lightning fast. It's less than 4 megabytes in size, but my laptop is struggling this evening. If we click on the Move and Import Pages tab, we can have a look at what goes on. The first position is Move Pages. Okay, so that suggests that we are happy with the pages and presumably the tracks on them, but we want to move them around a bit. Well, the way to do that is by dropping the list beneath each one. These are all the pages that are on this session, and if you scan down that list, you can see it follows the labels that are already there. So jingles, beds, songs, and so on, down to 18, which we haven't given an actual name to yet. And all you do is click on the one you actually want to be there. So beds, and we'll just swap these two for ease. Jingles. So currently, page 1 is called jingles, page 2 is called beds, but we're going to say, no, make 1 beds, make 2 jingles, okay? Okay, they've moved, and I promise you the tracks have moved with them, okay? That's really handy. There's a gotcha though. This was a really hard thing to make work. Bear with while the computer gets on with it. With the way this works, it is possible for you to lose a page. If I were to name that jingles and not go somewhere else and put beds, and if I click OK, that beds page will disappear. So just bear that in mind. Let's just make sure I secure that. Go back to manage pages. Then the other thing we can do is import pages. Now this is very useful if you're creating a new session, but you want, the jingles from another session, for example. So click on that radio button there, and this path is where your sessions are. And if you've got one folder for your sessions, then you shouldn't have to change it. And we will choose another session. We've got archive01 open. I don't think the pages are named very imaginatively, but if I double click that, There we go. We now have a similar way of working. We drop down the list and we see what we've got. And as I suspected, that session, archive 02, the pages are named 1 to 10 and then nothing. But let's say I quite like the idea of reverting to something quite simplistic. In that regard, and whatever the content is on them is what I want in this session. So okay, there we go. I've now got 1, 2 songs, and as you can see that some of those colours that were there have gone. So I'm now looking at these new pages being imported. Good, huh? I think while we're here, I hadn't made a note of one other feature to add in, which is similar. So that's pages. That's everything you can do with pages. You can name them, you can move them around, you can import them from other sessions. Tracks. You might want to move your tracks around. Let's have a look at shuffle tracks. Once you've clicked on that button, these grey out a little bit to try and remind you that this is the mode you're in, and this says shuffling. Okay. Now, you've a bit like loading a track onto the in Driver onto a channel to play. You've got to sort of imagine that the button is on your finger. So I want to move this Americano top left. I click, and I've taken it off that button, and it's on my finger now, and I want to put it here. So let's put that there, and now Blue Skies is on my finger. Click, and I've moved that there. Okay. Let's try. Did I click that? Oh, I can't change pages while I'm shuffling, so I take that off. Let's do, sorry, page 2. It's because I'm doing it slowly and I'm having to think. It doesn't help when I think. Now, if I want to do a really wholesale change, if I want to reverse the order of this lot, A, I'd be mad, but B, I can do it. Let's put that one there, down to the bottom right. And then that one there, and you just go backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Of course, what I should have done was put that first one. I'm just making it up as I go along now. There you go, just keep going. And probably with a fully populated button, the last button I pick up, which is going to be Hot Love here, okay? So I've dropped Horse to Water. I've now got Hot Love on my finger. I probably don't want to lose it. So go here, click. You can, if I remember rightly, it's been a long while, but I'm pretty sure you can move around blank buttons as well. They don't have to be populated. If I can, here we go. That one's blank. Oh no, I'm not in shuffling. Oh, how embarrassing. Go away. Shuffle tracks, here we go. Pick up a blank button, put it there. There you go. You can't see I'm doing it, but I'm moving blank buttons around as well. Okay, that can be really useful to, again, quite quickly and easily edit a session. It doesn't have to be painful. Save session, out of the mode. Okay. Let's do one more thing while we're here. AutoPop. I've touched on it in the past. That's how to auto-populate your pages. If you remember, each page button points to a folder. You can have the same big folder like this session go into all the buttons. So I could have a folder with 882 tracks in it and point each page button to that folder. If I did that, it would be quite laborious to drag and drop one track at a time, one track at a time, one track at a time. And I would suggest if you want a session with just a lot of music on like that, you probably would like them to be in some sort of order. Say numerical first, if you've got track numbers at the beginning, and then alphabetically. Well, if you do that, if you want that, you can do this. You can turn them all on. Now we have got a little bit of an anomaly here in that we have got multiple folders. So the first two are pointing at folder 2. You got quite a lot pointing at folder 1. They're just pointing at the C drive, so they're probably not going to find anything. And then we're looking at this cart music folder, and I can't remember if there's anything in that. But I'm going to ask CartRack to just go into those folders and just find everything it can and put them on the buttons. Okay. I would say that these first 2 pages, that folder has probably got about 500 tracks in it. So it's going to do the first 49 on that page, then the next 49 on that page. Then here it's going to do similar thing, because folder 1 will have a similar number of tracks on it, and it will go 49, 49, 49, next 49, next 49, next 49, next 49, next 49. Then it will come here and probably not find anything. Then it will come here, and I presume that's got some music in it, but I can't remember. So we'll see. If it had only, let's say, 10 tracks in it, it would put 10 tracks on there, then run out. Then none on there, none on there, none on there, none on there. Here we go. It's going to probably be slow because of this recording software, but it's normally blink of an eye. Go. Ah, not too bad. Here we are. This was the one with O2, so yeah, as I thought, it's completely filled those. These as well. This is the one that was probably just looking at the C drive. Yes, it was. And this one. Right, cart music. No, that's C as well. I tell you what's happened there. Yes, I remember. This is an old session, and because I hadn't ever clicked on those buttons, it hadn't discovered that those paths didn't exist, and it's probably why I was musing over them. Did you spot my deliberate mistake there? So it's gone back to safety, and on any computer, C is pretty safe as a safe place. So that's auto-populate, and it's quite nicely resolved a potential problem for us. Now I'll go over something else just to show how quickly you can format a CartRack session. There we go. Let's just observe. Where was it? One of these pages had. I thought lots of different colours on. I'm so waffling. I've done too many of these videos in one go. Here we are. This one down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Page 10. We've got a mix of colours there. Just by the by. If you remember, if you find a blank button somewhere and click it, you can open the bulk button edit window. I've auto-populated. Potentially, I've loaded 882 tracks very quickly. If the naming of them is not ideal, again, we've been over this in the past, so you could find the video if you haven't seen it. We can do some very quick word editing up here on the page we're on, or the entire session. We can do a similar thing with the colouring here. So let's see. Let's do something clever where let's make every button in this session red. So every single button now is red. But I want every populated button, so every button that's got a track on it, I want to be blue. There we go. Red if it hasn't got anything on it, blue if it has. Now I can do this by page, and you can have different colour schemes on each page. And let's say I've changed my mind. I want any button with nothing on it to be purple. There you go. That's done the entire session in one go. You can do it page by page. Let's say this one, I want all the populated buttons to be yellow. Look at that. How quick is that? Let's just prove it. Time it. AutoPop. Probably I'd have all these the same folder in if I'm doing something like this, but whatever. You can be as complicated as you like. Turn them all on. I go, okay, I'm going to go to the bulk edit page, a slightly different route this time by clicking on the populate button, clicking that button, and I say every populated button in this session I want to be green. Every non-populate button in this session I want to be blue. Close, blue, green, save. Thank you very much.